Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house, and welcome back to the channel. And if you're first time here, welcome to the channel. This is the Winterblade Co Factor magnetic knife. Then I'm gonna check it out, but you know what you can check out? It's Fablades.com and see if there's anything you like on there. There's some fidget, some knives. Check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this fella, because it's pretty cool. I'm gonna share my impressions with you. This guy comes with these two cards. Of course, you got the knife, and you get some extra parts, which are a pivot screw and some stronger or weaker magnets. Now we have installed the stronger, and it come in with this hard case box with the lanyard. It's very well made with some nice padding on the inside, and here you have this pretty cool knife, guys. Check the size first. It's 6.5 centimeters long for the cutting edge. Overall handle length is going to be 11 inches. I said maybe centimeters, so 18 centimeters overall for this guy. So not too big, but kinda, it's, you know, that's the size. So it's not a full-size knife, definitely. The handle to blade ratio, of course, is not ideal. It's pretty much like para 3 kind of ratio, but it's okay. This is something different, something new on the market because of the magnetic guts that are inside of this knife. So there's a couple cool features, but first of all, so this is the second batch of this knife. It has a titanium show side scale, carbon fiber, let's say clip side scale. It has this G10 detent breaker, let's call it that way, right? Which just sounds incredible. Of course, here you have the magnetic lock, which you can see, like underneath there's a magnet, and this guy just like there getting attracted by that magnet and just sliding into the slot which is on the blade, on the tank of the blade. So you see the magnets there, and you see that magnets underneath on this side is just attracting this lock here, which is magnetic as well. And when I release this guy just goes there and locks the blade in place. So kind of like, let's say, axis lock principle, but very different. Of course, it's not the same. Also here, I noticed, I just cleaned this up before, and I should have just, just tightened it a little bit more, because, it was just a little bit loose. My bad. But still, it's very, very interesting, the mechanism to deploy this knife. Of course, the construction is clever. It's simple at the same time. It's not perfect. So I'm seeing some gaps, for example, like in this backspacer / detent breaker. And I try to, get it pretty tight, but I see some gaps there. Also, for example, like I see a little, you see right there, I mean, nothing crazy, but a little gap also there. The finish is like a light stonewash finish for the show side scale. It has 4 screws, 3 on this side, 4 on this side to keep the scales together. There's another couple screws underneath to just open up this side only to install the magnets underneath, so they're just being held captive. Nice pivot inlaid with some G10. It's a captive pivot, and I like it. The clip just works very well. Sorry, it has the right the right spring tension, and I like it. But let's talk about a little bit the mechanism, because it's very, very interesting. So you have a blade, of course, it's magnetic, right? I mean, it's metallic, and it's attracted by the magnet, which is right over there. So right next to the magnet, you see a little white Teflon, I'm assuming, kind of thing, which is just barely making it like there, and it doesn't allow for the blade to just get in touch with the magnet and get scratched. So very, very clever. And if you see, one is just a little bit higher than the other one, so when you close, boom, there's no way it's gonna touch. So I don't know if you can see. I hope I explained myself well to make you understand this concept, which is pretty clever. So I like that. You will notice that the blade is a little bit off center, favoring the clip side because the stronger magnet has been installed. So this guy on this side is pulling the blade on that side. So that's normal from the maker's perspective. So it makes sense. It's just physics. So you install the lightest, the weakest magnet, and you're gonna have a centered blade, but you're gonna have a weaker detent, right? So that's one thing. Also, you have as I said, this is the kind of like axis lock analog, which just slides on this line. It doesn't go this way because the blade is not open. So you can see there that when the blade opens, there's a notch available for this to slide in, attracted by the magnet on the inside. When you remove this guy, there's nothing holding the blade in place. So the blade is just freely falling down. And guess what? It's not like the axis lock in a Benchmade or whatever, that the blade bounces back here when it gets closed, like if you just release the lock, it just gets trapped there because yes, there's a magnet. So that's a pretty clever mechanism. So this is the detent breaker because it's basically pushing, like here, the blade out, like so, from that detent, which is grabbing like the blade at this point. So you just push this guy, break the detent, centrifugal force, it's just gonna get the blade open. Pretty clever mechanism indeed. So it all is fantastic on paper, but in practice, I find it that I need to deploy this knife in a specific way. Otherwise, it's like very easy to fail. Even with the stronger magnet, I can easily fail it. It's this that doesn't fail. So you need to commit to that and just go all the way down. So it's not that just like a little push is gonna deploy the blade. No, because even if I'm like this, like completely flat, it's just not gonna open. So you gotta commit, you gotta push harder, or like guys, just use the reverse flick like that, or the thumb flick, which is much nicer, like, and reliable, and just and the swing. So hold on a second. The deployment method is very important, and for me, like, this is number one in this knife. You get this like with the index, it's sure, like you can do like, of course, like a 5-finger challenge, flick, thumb flick, and middle finger flick in this case for me are just let's see, like, are the preferred method beside this guy over here. So another method, it can be just like this guy, like holding it down and just, now it's pretty hard, but so the magnet is strong, so it's not unsafe in the pocket, but I was able, not under the camera, just to deploy the knife just with a wrist shake. Nothing too crazy, nothing dangerous. It was just like sometimes it happens if you shake hard, but it means it's safe in the pocket, so it's not going to deploy by itself because I just said that this is weak. It's weak if you just try to go weak and try to fail it. Otherwise, just commit, it's going to deploy. The fantastic thing is that this guy has a gorgeous sound when swing, and when it closes it's just classic, but when it opens, swing, you have this tingling, resounding, echoing, and super high-pitched sound, which is just a joy to hear. I don't know how good the microphone can translate this, and don't know how good are your speakers or your headphones, but one of the best sounding knives when deploying. So good. M390 steel, full flat grind. You get a little bit of billboarding going on the clip side, some chamfering going on, a little bit of a flex. It doesn't really feel like a super solid knife. There's no blade play. It's super fidgety. In the hand, I have a little bit of a hot spot right over here. It's normal because it's just digging in my flesh like that, but still, I can do it. Finger choil, yes, sure, it's gonna work. I'm gonna check the 3 millimeters, just a little bit below 3 millimeters stock thickness, and 0.45 behind the edge for this M390. Full flat grind, kind of like gaps, foot chamfered with a nice cut out on the blade, chamfered as well. It looks good. It just, it performs nicely. It's super fidgety. It has very cool factors in it. One thing that I'm not a super fan of is the fact that, there's just like a little bit wide for the short cutting edge it has, and the, not stoked by the gaps over here, but the fidget factor is there. The sound factor is there. Handling, doesn't really feel like great in my hand, at least, but we have something new. Just some fresh air in the knife market, which I truly appreciate. I love innovation. So there you have it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.